totally different eras. Like whereas even the respectability of having certain things come to fruition, like you have, okay, you said like back in our age, when you're like 15 or so in our generation, what were you really doing anyway? Like your interests didn't align like that. Also, the avenues weren't there. Like say, okay, I know you're talking about this. It's probably just one kid on Instagram I know of. Like I'm kind of into shoes. I was into sneakers really big, but since transition to loafers and stuff, had to get on my grown man. Speaking of age, but this kid sells shoes, sells sneakers, and over Instagram. Forget 5 figures. Like this man is making millions at this point. Like you have like superstars around the world going to him. And now, could you have done that? Like we barely had 8-bit gaming down. Like and this kid is like has a access to people in France, people on the other side of the globe, people in all over the place. It's just a different era, man.
No, yeah, absolutely,
era.
absolutely. So you ready for the joke?
Sure.
All right. So it's not really a joke because the more I think about it, the more corny it is. But like, all right. So like, I'm a video game dude. So
okay.
You know, you ever played Crash Bandicoot?
I did. Oh my god. Yeah. See, now that's back in our old generation. So, man, okay. See, when I was a kid, you know, everybody has those, like when you're growing, like some things grow faster than others, including your head, right? So if you got a big ass head and dude, my name plus like the size of my head, it just, it equaled that name a lot, man. I got that a lot. The game came out and then it was over.
Really? So I'm on it. Okay.
You're on it. You're on it.
I want to say, so how did you get your name? Is this a nickname or was it a rap name or like?
So all right, the rap name is CTez, and I've stylized it a couple different ways, but it originates from my middle name, Cortez. One day we were just hanging out, me and some friends, and my boy Cody was like, yo, so I heard you rapping a little bit. Yo, wouldn't it be crazy if you did like the rap thing seriously? You could have like a rap name like Lil this or Lil that, or yo, you know what? What about CTez? And I was like, all right. And I brushed it off at first, but it's one of those things where you it grows on you. And now, fuck it, I like it, I love it.
Yeah, I think it's a dope name.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, going now since you talked about the music, right off the bat when I first heard you rap, I'm like, yo, it's smart. You know, like I like that it like I flew to it. Like I didn't even like walk to it. I was like, yeah, this is something I need to get into. What got you there? Was it like a transition where were you trying to be current and then you found your niche, or were you just always like that?
That's hard to say. I think when I was growing up, I always strove to be intelligent. That was my goal. I wanted to be the smartest guy in the room. I liked to read, and my father's emphasis was vocabulary. Vocabulary was huge. Like there were moments where me and my sister at the time, like we would be sitting there bored. Not bored, kids. Like we got the video games here, we got the toys all over there. It's like, no, sit down, read a book. Go figure, later on down the line, I'm putting words together, I'm stringing words together, and I can't quite get away from the way that I speak. If you have a conversation with me, I guarantee it's a force of habit. I'll drop a word that can be completely out of context. We could be sitting there smoking in the middle of a trap house, and I'll say some shit like T.I., like, this weed is indubitably the best weed I've ever had, like some shit like that. And then people just look at you like, yeah, word, it's good. It's good. So, I worked that into my wordplay, and then I listened to other rappers that not had similar styles, but showed how you didn't have to dumb shit down.
That's a key, because I know for me growing up too, the smart black guy kind of got the short end of the stick, And it's funny because you took the opposite approach and you're like, I want to be the smartest kid in the classroom, while most people would be a follower and say, I'll just slack around. So was it your father, or did you just have it in your head that I need to be the smartest kid? Like,
the thing is easy. Simple subjects came simply. When I was in school, basic math was okay. I got by very easily until they put me into honors classes, you know, and like you said, most young black kids, they fall victim to that stigma that I can't be the smartest guy. If I'm the smartest guy, that usually equals bullying. That usually equals the names like, oh, you're an Oreo, right? You know, oh, you talk white. Big things, right? I got that a lot. But I kind of embraced it, and I had friends that were my friends regardless. I was lucky enough to be blessed with a little bit of height, a little bit of athleticism in high school. So I made varsity as a sophomore, varsity basketball. I was able to coach basketball and a bunch of other things. So in school, I hung out with the other athletic black kids because of basketball. But I would still be the token in the honors classes. So I kind of had the best of both worlds, you know?
I totally understand. So in saying all that, how do you still have, like, not even the courage, but the confidence to rap?
It's a good question. I've never been asked that before. It's just there. It's just there. It's just an understanding so early on that people are gonna say what they want to say regardless. Just throw it by the wayside. You have people who are around you for a reason. They chose to be around you. So long as you have one friend, that means that somebody in the world, with all the people they could have been around, chose to be around you. You got something.
I like that. Now, going into like influences, because I know you was mentioning that a little earlier.
Yeah.
Like, when you was a kid listening to rap, like, who were the initial influences?
All right. Now here's where we get a little bit embarrassing. Rap, to me, right? I didn't listen to the most rap as a kid. Like, when I was listening to music, some of my first musical influences, outside of what my mother played on the radio, you know, the Marvin Gaye's, the Luther Vandrosses, and that'll come into play, like, you know, in some of the tracks that I do where I sing a little bit. But I listen to boy bands and shit, man. I know. It's like, what? Yeah, NSYNC, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, 98 Degrees, is that dude's names? I don't know. But I didn't get into rap really until, like, I heard some Eminem. I know, right? It's like,
no, that's the same. It's not about me, it's about you, but
yeah, so yeah, it's right there. And then, of course, basketball. As I began to gain the friends that, you know, had more traditional upbringings that you would expect from a young black kid, that's where I got it. That's when I'm like, yo, did you hear the new Lil Wayne mixtape? What's a mixtape? You know, like, and then sure, okay, now I'm bumping. Now, then you get into LimeWire. Remember LimeWire? So I'm over here killing my computer because I'm like, all right, shit, this is actually kind of dope. Let me listen to everything. And oh shit, what is that? Is that a virus so much? Oh, nope, this won't close. This won't close. I killed like 2 or 3 computers. I actually had to become kind of a tech wizard just to avoid killing my shit to download music. But it was cool. It was worth it.
So would you say Eminem was the start?
He was the start. And I won't say, I listened to it strictly as a fan. You know, like, I had no intention to rap. I didn't even think I could. It was the furthest from my imagination. But it was something that everybody was into. So then eventually I started to reach into others. And the ones that really immersed me into rap was Outkast. Outkast, like Speaker Box and The Love Below. I had those were the first CDs, rap CDs, I asked my mother to buy me. And it's funny, like everybody says that they liked, Andre better. Big Boy was my dude. Big Boy was my dude. Like I'll give it to Three Stacks. Three Stacks, yes, he's arguably a legend. But back in the Big Boy, that was my guy.
If you're a Currency fan, you're a Big Boy fan.
Yes, yes. Currency is another one. Like, man, like I could say that there's influences to my style musically, but I would just be like, say I pull things from everybody. Like, I'm the type of person who can appreciate the little things. And I'm starting, as much as, like I said, vocabulary is something I focus on when I write. I can even appreciate some of the mumble rap stuff because it's energy. It's energy. Hip hop is becoming like rock and roll. Whereas you had traditional rock and roll, you have alternative rock and roll, you have metal rock and roll, you have gothic rock and roll. You're having all of these different segments of rock. We're now starting to establish different segments within hip hop, within rap, where you can vibe out to a Kendrick, you can vibe out to a Cole, you can listen to a poppy track by Drake, and then you can hear like some super like boom bap type stuff like Tech Nine. You can listen to, a Takashi. You can listen to a Young M.A. You can listen to wherever and find something different from everybody.
So where do you like to fall in that category?
All right, I know this question's probably gonna come up at some point. Everybody's wondering, because it's a traditional rap question. My top 5 rappers that I listen to: Gambino, Cole, Drake, Wale, and this last one's a toss-up. But I almost have to give it to Fab.
That's not right. That's not like out the.
No. It just feel like, it's he doesn't really keep the same deep subject matter. Like there's depth. There's different levels of depth. And from when some people trade in depth, they get swag. I think he's one of those.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when did you get into Jay-Z?
Jay-Z, polarizing to me, because like I feel like he's different people. Jay-Z has reinvented himself so many times. The same Jay-Z that you used to listen to is not the Jay-Z now. Jay-Z, like, It's a Hard Knock Life Jay-Z, A Shoulda Izzo Jay-Z. That's different than 444 Jay-Z. Like, this new Jay-Z is, I like him better than the other Jay-Z's.
Because he's pop.
No, he's, okay. I've heard the opinion that Jay-Z is poppy. You can't call him that, simply because he will forever be, he is so deeply enthralled in hip hop. His entire body of work is hip hop, even down to his business acumen is hip hop. Everything he approaches is hip hop. There's a certain, okay, the closest he would ever have came to pop was probably Magna Carta Holy Grail. And that was not so much so him. It was that some of the tracks on there had artists like Justin Timberlake. Justin Timberlake is undoubtedly pop. He couldn't be considered anything but. Because he has such a strong influence in pop, he got some pop eyes on Jay-Z. Jay-Z's kind of transcended hip-hop, but he will forever be hip-hop.
Okay. I like that answer.
Appreciate that.
So one thing I liked is how you dove into the business part of Jay-Z, and then I look at you, your attire is usually business, very business casual. So
yeah.
How do you incorporate hip hop into your style of dress?
I try to. Okay, by trade, I'm a legal professional. I work at a law firm, and being in that environment, there's only so much that you can do without, moving towards the realm of being unprofessional. Outside of that, it's kind of branched into my normal wear. Like I said, I used to do Jordans all the time. Like, there was a point in time when me and my brother would go back and forth trading Jordans and like, let's go watch these and see when these are coming out. Do you know when this is coming out? We had the dates marked on calendars. We had apps that will pinpoint, yo, this one is coming out here, this one's coming out here. We'd go through the entire year and plan out. We'd be in January planning on buying some kicks in August. It was serious. But after a while, you know, you're forced to grow and change. And, you know, I was lucky enough to gain the guidance of some people who knew how to dress as grown men. So, yeah, I took it and I was like, you know, this feels a little bit more like me. Like earlier on, I mentioned I wasn't always the traditional black youth. Because of that, certain things about me now are little quirks. I own them. Like, I don't feel the most. I was never able to sag my pants. I'll give you that. One of the main. I was never able to sag my pants. Why? I just felt I felt foolish. Even when we were sagging pants, one of my favorite accessories was a skull belt and wallet chain. You know, like it's like, yeah, and we had the song like Party Like a Rock Star, which kind of brought it into hip hop, made it hip hop. But nah, I would wear Affliction t-shirts. I was wearing the rosary beads, stuff like that would like fringe of hip hop. Not necessarily hip hop. Like, I don't think I owned any FUBU. I don't think I owned like certain things. Like, my cousins in Brooklyn would give me things and I'd be like, this is cool. I don't think I'm ever gonna wear it. Like, you know, I had pairs of Timberland boots, wouldn't wear them because it's like I didn't understand the cultural significance of it. Now, you know, as you become more acquainted with other people who have a better understanding of the culture and they teach you, and being in music in general, you can't help but be immersed by the culture as a whole. It permeates every fiber of what you do. So yeah.
You know, I would like to transition into saying, like, can you talk about being an artist and having a 9-to-5?
Oh, man. See, it's tough because I feel like it makes it that much more difficult because time is always a factor. Whenever whenever you're not working, someone else is, right? Whenever you're not writing, someone else is. Whenever you're not performing, someone else is. However, I'm not rich. I know a lot of people who are in the music industry, some to get rich, but most of them don't have money, and that right there is their motivation. It's just to survive. It's just to be like, yo, I want to get to a point where finances, I don't have a second thought about them. Like, you know, I got this bill, I'm not worried about how to pay it. But to get there, you can only move as fast as your financial backing. Nowadays, to get further in this music stuff, everything costs money. Beats cost money. Studio time costs money. If you're not well known, to get on stages with people who are well known generally costs money. To get your stuff seen costs money. You know, from even from a social media standpoint, putting your stuff in front of people, putting it in the venues by which people can see your stuff. Like, I'm not just talking SoundCloud, I'm not just talking Facebook reposts, I'm not just talking Instagram posts. I'm talking legitimate promotion where people are like, oh, this song came up, that's fire. Oh, this blog said that this song is hot. Spots on that blog may cost money. You can't do it without that. So while I feel like my 9-to-5 takes away from a ton of the time that I have to work, I don't think I could do it without the 9-to-5. Like, you need to have some sort of income. And some people trap. Some people do a lot of things to make their bread. Dude, I went to school. I was blessed enough to have that opportunity. So I'm going to use it to the best of my ability. Not to mention, like, my particular 9-to-5 helps me to navigate the game a little bit better. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The job helping you navigate, did you already know, like, I wanted to be, like, are you basically a lawyer at this point, or are you like an apprentice to being a lawyer?
I still have 2 years left of law school.
Are you gonna do like entertainment?
Of course. So that has to be something. Like, when I was asked by my parents what I wanted to be, I said law. And yeah, that always starts off, I want to be a big time lawyer, I want to be a judge, but I just felt like I saw possibilities. I'm always a man of, I like to have options. I like to know that, like, even if this was to fail today, I could do something else. I want to know that if I get an inkling to all right, politics, right? There's a lot of shit going on in this world right now. It can use level heads, and I'm not saying that my head is the levelest, but you know, I might want to one day throw my hat in a political race.